Hi, I'm Mark, and this is Let's Vibe, the channel all about crystals and our feelings. Now, in this video, I want to talk about a very common crystal that I think anyone who's interested in working with crystals should have in their collection. And that crystal is selenite. So right away, you can see this selenite. Selenite's a very luminous kind of stone. It's got a very nice, it's translucent, almost transparent, but it also has this beautiful reflective sheen. And this is a crystal, so you can see this is obviously a small selenite rod or selenite wand. Selenite, you can find pieces that are huge in this shape or in other shapes, spheres. It's a very soft stone, and selenite comes from dry desert regions like the southwestern United States. So the name selenite, I'll start with that. The name comes from the Greek name of the goddess Selene, the goddess of the moon. And so that's where it gets the name selenite. And this stone, this crystal, is very much connected with the energies of the moon. This crystal is often described as being a crystal of pure light. It's like crystalline light, moonlight specifically. So it's deeply connected with the divine feminine, specifically of the moon, that face of the divine feminine. And with all that light energy, you can guess that this is a crystal that can really bring light to your aura and to your energy. This is an excellent cleansing crystal. Selenite can cleanse not just your own energies and etheric body, but selenite also can cleanse other crystals. You can place crystals on top of a selenite rod or chunk, whatever shape your piece is. You can place another crystal on top of it and leave it there for a little bit of time, and it will cleanse and recharge that crystal. Selenite is great. If you have a selenite wand, you can wave that wand over your body to remove any kind of low vibrations or energetic attachments. It's just, when you connect with selenite, it feels like being lit up with a really, really beautiful, gentle kind of light. Another thing that I love about selenite is it can very effectively disperse all kinds of, any kind of chaotic emotions. Emotions like anxiety, anger, fear. Selenite is really good at clearing the energies of those emotions from you and giving you a sense of peace and rest from chaotic feelings. So if you're really struggling with emotions, with difficult emotions, selenite is a great way to give yourself some peace and give yourself a breather. When I hold this selenite wand, it feels like being given a breather from outside distractions, and maybe even like a breather from my own ego, my own inner mental chatter. So it's very calming. It's very peaceful. This is a stone that can be placed around your house or any room, and that would provide not just cleansing energy, but also protection. This stone can protect against low vibrations and harmful energy. So this is the regular, most common form of selenite, this translucent, almost transparent, white selenite. And like I said, you can find this in all shapes and sizes, and it really is a very versatile stone to have. It's a very soft stone, so you want to be careful with it. Selenite can be scratched with a fingernail, so you want to make sure you're taking care of it, and also keep it away from water. Selenite can easily dissolve in water. So you got to keep it dry, just like the conditions, the climate where selenite is found. It needs to be dry. So this is your average selenite. The next kind of selenite that I have, this piece and this type is found in, this came from Utah. And this type is called Golden Phantom Selenite. So you can see you've got a fairly different shape here. It's more layered. It's got kind of almost like a fishtail kind of thing going on this end, but a little bit different. But we still got the translucence, and this one's actually more transparent, more so than just translucent. But then you can see, or I should point here, that golden center. And so that's the Golden Phantom. So Golden Phantom selenite is very much like the regular white selenite, but it's got this added energy that's very sun-like. It's kind of like a sunshine type of energy within the selenite. And that gives it, an interesting balance between the lunar energy, the divine feminine moon energy of selenite, and then the more masculine, divine masculine energy of the sun within that golden center. And when I meditate with Golden Phantom selenite, I still get that same cleansing and illuminating energy, but there's an additional like solar plexus energy going on, stimulated by that Golden Phantom. And what it brings is an energy of optimism, a very positive, uplifting energy. I think the Golden Phantom also heightens the vibration of the selenite in total, because golden yellow color resonates with the higher crown chakras, or the higher crown chakra, and those high vibrational chakras. So it adds more of a higher vibrational spiritual element, but at the same time, it does have a grounded energy that, like I said, sits in the solar plexus area. So it's balanced. It's a balanced feeling. This type of selenite, I think, is also good for tuning into what's going on the inside. I think any crystal with a phantom on the inside is really good for tuning into what's going on within you, like deep within you, what's happening in that core, that center. But it also can it can help you access more of the bigger picture. It can help you, and that's that spiritual element. It can help you kind of raise your consciousness, raise your awareness to a higher perspective. Honestly, I feel like there's still quite a bit more for me to learn about Golden Phantom. This is a relatively new stone. And well, it's new for me, but I think it's new for a lot of people. Like it only recently has been out in the crystal markets, at least from what I've seen. But so I still have a lot to learn about it, but it's a great stone. If you happen upon some locally USA sourced Golden Phantom Selenite, I would recommend it. I don't think you have to be, a crystal expert, or, you can pick up this kind of selenite, even though it does have a more heightened spiritual side to it. I think it's okay even for beginners. The third type of selenite is a wholly different shape altogether, but very similar energetic qualities. And that is desert rose. Let me bring it in a little closer. Do we need that? No. Is that clear? Okay. Well, as you can see, it's got like a lot of these, they almost look like scales, but like scales lying vertically. Very interesting texture and shape to this stone. And again, these come from desert areas. So with the desert rose, you're still getting that illuminating quality. It still definitely has the cleansing and the protective qualities. In my experience with desert rose, it can also be good for, and also just what I've learned from researching, but desert rose is specifically good for reprogramming your energies and your mind. And specifically what we're talking about is removing old mental and emotional programs that we've lived by unconsciously for a long time and that are outdated and no longer needed. Desert rose can help with releasing those outdated types of energies, outdated patterns, attachments, and helping bring in something better to replace the outdated program. Of course, that's a very mental, spiritual type of process, so I'm not gonna get into any details about, what that entails and what that looks like. That would be its own video. But desert rose is good for that kind of cleansing. Cleansing of old patterns. I've also read that desert rose is good for letting out your true self, letting out your most authentic self, and discovering new skills, new gifts and talents within yourself. So it's a very interesting stone. I would highly recommend getting a desert rose. And these are also good placed around a room or your house for cleansing and protection. And especially with desert rose, you do not want to get wet. Don't let it touch water. Definitely don't submerge it in water because it will damage the energy of the stone. The water will damage selenite. It'll dissolve selenite, but it will also affect the energy of the desert rose. So you don't want to dunk it in water or cleanse it with water as you would some other crystals. And that's true for all types of selenite. But especially desert rose has like a, dry conditions only. And now, lastly, the fourth kind of selenite that I want to talk about is orange selenite, also known as peach selenite. As you can see, my piece here is a skull. And it's definitely more on the orange side of the spectrum, but it's got some lighter peach tones as well. Very beautiful. I'm still fairly new to using crystal skulls, but this was and still is the first one that I've bought. So peach selenite. Again, same qualities, same illuminating qualities. Very connected with the moon, but peach selenite has more of a shadow side affiliation to it. So we're talking, shadow energies, your shadow self, the shadow parts of yourself, things about yourself that you just tend to keep hidden, or things that you wouldn't want other people to see. It doesn't have to be something bad or negative. That's the tricky thing. It can be kind of confusing because we tend to automatically associate shadow with negative and bad, but it doesn't have to be about something negative. It doesn't have to be something bad. There are many reasons why we hide certain parts of ourselves, and it's not always because, oh, that's bad. So peach selenite is about shining a light on the shadow aspects of yourself. Judy Hall associates peach selenite specifically with Pluto and Persephone. In Greek mythology, Persephone became Hades or Pluto's wife, and Persephone ended up, after she was married to Pluto, she was only able to return to Earth for 6 months out of the year, and then the other 6 months out of the year she had to go back to Hades, or the underworld. And so Judy Hall talks about Persephone and her energy in connection with peach selenite. And I do kind of understand that. I don't know if I've personally made that connection, but I can definitely connect this with Pluto and the energies of Pluto, or the energies of Scorpio. That connection I definitely understand. This is definitely a stone that can aid with transformation, inner transformation. That's what Pluto's all about. Pluto is all about destroying the old and creating something new. Pluto obviously also is a lot about shadow work and the shadow self. So the kind of light that peach selenite gives off is a light that is more appropriate, I guess, for shadow work. And that's when shadow work is all about facing those shadow parts that you yourself may not have taken a good look at ever. Um, but given all that stuff with the shadow work, peach selenite is also still good for just cleansing, energetic protection, and cleansing other stones. And I've read that with peach selenite, it can also amplify. I think this is true for all selenite. It can also amplify the energies of other crystals. This happened a couple months ago. I can't quite remember what was going on, but I was wanting to do some shadow work, and I remember stating an intention with this peach selenite skull, wanting to work on some inner child stuff, and damn, did that, it came up. So it came up, and it was hard. Shadow work is difficult. I would not recommend doing it unless you, first of all, really want to, and number two, unless you have a support network in place, a therapist, a mentor, some trusted friends or family. You definitely don't want to do shadow work by yourself. It can be really tumultuous at times. So, and don't take it lightly either. If you're gonna, state an intention around inner child work, then you better be ready, because it can be surprising even when you're intending it. So these are my 4 different types of selenite, and as I said earlier, I would recommend anyone who wants to work with crystals, I would recommend getting some type of selenite for yourself. If you're drawn to the peach selenite, go for it. But I would, if you're a beginner, I would definitely recommend like desert rose or just the regular white, the white variety of selenite. Now the song for selenite, I know there's 4 different types here, but I wanted to just choose one song. And the song that I came up with for selenite is another song by my favorite Japanese artist, Ayumi Hamasaki, Empress of J-pop, which I guess, J-pop isn't really quite a genre anymore. It's almost, I think J-pop really was confined to the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Because the music scene really changed in Japan after, around 2007, 2008. But anyway, Ayumi Hamasaki holds the crown for all J-pop. And there's a song of hers that I think just embodies this very luminous, uplifting kind of energy. And that song is called Moments. And I will include a link to the music video for that song in the description box down below. And it really is just about the feeling of the song, the energy that it gives off. But I will say, towards the end of the song, she sings a line about being someone's guardian angel the way the moon shines its light, something like that. She's very poetic, but she mentions the moon, so there is a little bit of direct connections to selenite. But as always, please leave any questions or comments you may have down below, and thank you so much for vibing with me.